start.
2-love.
Yeah, short lift.
That's a good rally.
It's a good tight net shot, but Margin backing herself to be able to take it off the tape, just making the mistake. But that's where she wants to be. That's where she can have the most influence on this game when she gets into that position. Probably after the first game, she spent so much time in the back court that she's lost her rhythm on the front court there.
Service over.
Nice rotation again.
3-1.
Zhao Li this time, hitting the straight smash, following into mid-court, into the forecourt, chaining 3 shots together, finding the winner.
Service over.
Once again, a cross-court lift.
2-3.
Yes, I'm surprised by that. When you're late in the mid-court there, normally I think the coaches would be looking for them to lift out straight, or if they're going to go cross, to go very, very high. And that was just too flat. Their opponent's able to intercept early and hit the easy winner down the line. Open court.
Good rally.
3-all.
These Chinese women's doubles players really are so strong, and just to emphasise their dominance in world badminton since they have been playing in world badminton. In their first world championships were in 1983 in Copenhagen. Only once have China failed to win the women's doubles title. And you have to go back to 1995 when the Koreans Gil Young-ah and Jang Ayok took the gold medal on that occasion.
Great reactions. Short and punished.
So given that statistic, Ian, I have to ask you the question. You've already talked about the movement of the players off the shuttle, continually moving on court, but what is it that makes Chinese women's doubles players so much better than everybody else?
That's a tough question, but I think you see in quite a number of what I would call sparring sports, when the country reaches the top, everybody else starts to pull on it, and you can form a production line. And it's only when that chain's broken, if you have a period where you don't have a top pair, then the level tends to drop. But at the moment, the Chinese are very, very good at rotating the younger players into the group of the experienced players at the top, building them up and then putting them in when they're ready. And it is a real production line at the moment. And as I say, badminton's a sparring sport. The higher the level of the players that you play against, the higher your level will be if you consistently train at that level. And at the moment, they can just totally dominate because of the number of players they've got at the top.
Yeah, very good point. So success breeds success because of the training environment, because of the sparring.
Yeah, very often get similar sort of thing in the martial arts. When one country gets to the top, they tend to dominate for a generation.
6-4.
That was in judo quite a lot. There was Japan for a long time, and then France took over that mantle. Cuba had a little period, but France now very, very strong at the top, and it's a sparring sport. And their younger players are getting to play with the better players, and they're coming through stronger than the other nations.
Another example of that, of course, is Cuban boxers.
Yeah, another good example again, another
4.
classic sparring sport.
It was a mishit from Chen-Shu.
8-4.
Got her side into trouble.
Well, we're just starting to see Wang get into better positions in the rear court and create a lot of problems with her attack. And that's what Zhao and Cheng did so well in the first game, that the attacking opportunities that they gave to Ma Jin, who hasn't quite got the same penetration with her attack. Ma Jin's been able to get more into the net position in the second game. And that's made a big difference.
Yeah, great attacking smashes from Wang Xiaoli, but Ian, I want to pick up on that point you just made. Ma Jin, not so much penetration with her smashes, and yet right at the start of the day we saw on the women's order of merit, as it were, for fastest smashes, Ma Jin was number 2, so presumably she's hitting hard, but she's not hitting in the right direction or getting the angle required.
Yes, I think she's concentrating so hard on trying to get forward that sometimes she doesn't fully commit in the rear court. And another thing, Jill, for those of you that were listening this morning, Jill was talking about how Ma Jin plays with a shorter grip in the forecourt. And I have to say, when she's in the rear court, I would still like to see her extend that grip a little bit more, so she gets more speed on the racket head. I think she can actually hit harder than she does. Technically, I think in the rear court, her grip's too short.
Well, Chen-Shu went dashing off court to try and grab another racket. But in all honesty, she really shouldn't have hit a smash. She should have hit a high clear to give her partner time to settle and herself time to dash off court and grab a new racket.
Thank you. Put the rackets inside.
Yes, the other thing, you just her substitute racket was underneath the towel and she couldn't really grab hold of it quickly enough.
10-4. Play.
Yeah, just there she goes. Right. A very difficult thing to do. We've seen it a few times in men's doubles, but they almost always give themselves time by throwing in the high lift or high clear before they start dashing off court. I wasn't convinced by the cross-court smash. Played herself into trouble. And now it's a 7-point advantage at the mid-game interval for world number 1's Ma Jin.